So this is it. This is the championship round of Monster Madness. This is episode 15 of Monster Madness, the last matchup. In today's matchup, we have Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Now, this is obviously a matchup that has happened in a previous movie, and so I thought the best way to break down this matchup is to just go through the fights we saw of these two kaijus. If we start out with this matchup, we start out with the fight in Antarctica, because this is where King Ghidorah comes out of the ice and initially fights Godzilla. And let's just break this down by exactly what happens, because I feel like that's the only way to really go about this. So King Ghidorah comes up out of the ice, and then Godzilla shows up, and basically when they collide, they both growl, they both run at each other, and when they collide, it's basically a perfect collision. Neither of them go back. There's a kind of sonic wave that comes off of them, and then they both perfectly meet. It shows that these are basically equals, that they are equal to each other. Godzilla and King Ghidorah are basically equivalent in their power, and that's basically what that sums up right there. But then Godzilla is able to bite and slam one of the heads of King Ghidorah, while one of the heads actually bites him in the back. So that shows that he's able to attack one of these heads, and that one of them alone is definitely not enough to take down Godzilla. That all of these heads have to work together in order to take down Godzilla. So the other one bites him, slams the head down, but then the gravity beams from King Ghidorah is able to knock back Godzilla. He stands back up and growls, and then Godzilla uses the atomic breath to try to hit King Ghidorah, but he dodges it and fires back and knocks Godzilla back, knocks him way back. He falls down, and then basically the military attacks King Ghidorah, then King Ghidorah kind of just flies off. Godzilla was definitely still in that battle, and it's really hard to determine who really wins that fight, but because King Ghidorah flew away, that fight definitely goes to Godzilla, since he literally ran away from the fight. And then the next fight, we can all agree, this fight in water, Godzilla wins. King Ghidorah just stood no chance in the water. Godzilla, this is his home. His home is the water, and Godzilla clearly dominates him and has enough time to rip off one of the heads, and easily wins the water battle. It's interrupted with the oxygen destroyer, but we clearly knew that Godzilla was going to dominate him in the water. Just from that scene, King Ghidorah just can't do anything. And so we can all agree in the water, Godzilla wins. But in this matchup, I'm going to say it's taking place on land. And then if we get to the last matchup with these two, is the battle in Boston. Now, this is where it gets very interesting, because this starts out King Ghidorah's in the city, and then Godzilla shows up, catches him off guard with the atomic breath, and knocks him back. Now, this is a Godzilla that is more powered up than before because of the bomb that woke him up. It made him stronger than what he'd usually be, at least for the atomic breath. As I'll get to later, Godzilla gets a little help from the military firing at King Ghidorah, but then they clash and collide, and it basically looks really similar to before. They both collide and neither of them go back, and a kind of sonic wave comes off of them. And I said how he was stronger because of the bomb, but they collide the same exact way as before he had that nuclear bomb with him. So you can tell the atomic breath starts up quicker and is bigger than usual, and that's why I feel like that's the main upgrade he got with that bomb. It's just the atomic breath is probably stronger, but as far as the other abilities go, his speed and strength is mostly the same because of the way that collision is exactly the same. And then Godzilla pushes King Ghidorah back, but then the three heads collectively bite Godzilla, lift him up, and slam him into the ground, in which Godzilla is able to use that atomic breath very quickly, start up that atomic breath very quickly, and push him back with the atomic breath. And then this is where Mothra comes in. So this is where this fight is interrupted again. Again, this fight is interrupted, and Mothra comes in, helps out Godzilla, sticks him against the building, then Godzilla runs into him, and then it looks like Godzilla has the advantage, and once again, something interrupts this fight between these two. King Ghidorah decides to bite the electrical grid, and has a crazy lightning ability, and basically knocks Godzilla out of this fight. Hits him with all the gravity, lightning ability, and really hurts Godzilla in this moment. Really hurts him, and basically takes him out of this fight, because then King Ghidorah flies up to him, and lifts him up and drops him out of the sky, and Godzilla is basically done at this point. And once he drops, then King Ghidorah is about to kill him, and then Mothra sacrifices herself, once again breaking up this fight from a winner. But if these two were just lined up in an open field, no advantages, no one stepping in, no third party involved, who would win this fight on land? This is a very difficult decision, because we saw them fight on land, and we've seen what they're able to do. There's a lot of different variables that go around. We've seen Godzilla's able to take the bites from the heads, and we've seen Godzilla's able to rip off one of the heads. but the regeneration will have a major factor. I feel by the time Godzilla is able to rip off each of the heads, if he's even able to do so, I feel like the third one, the one he'd been off before, will be growing back in the matter of time before he's able to get to all of them. But like I've said, with all these kaijus, if he gets to that middle body, I feel he could take King Ghidorah out. And it shows that Godzilla's, even his main weapon in this battle, is proven to be useless, the atomic breath, because it is able to push him back from very close when it's more powerful at the end, but it shows it has no damage on King Ghidorah. So it would really only be useful for pushing him away, but it won't actually do any damage to him. So at the end of the day, obviously I would want Godzilla to win this fight, just like everyone would want Godzilla to win, but I feel that King Ghidorah is just the bigger, badder kaiju with the regeneration, with the 3 heads, with the flying ability. Yes, Godzilla would be able to get some major damage off, and he's obviously can stand a chance. He really is King Ghidorah's equal, but I do feel King Ghidorah edges him out in the flying ability. He does have the size, and I think overall, King Ghidorah is shown to really dominate these fights more, and was shown that he could have possibly won in multiple times. And I feel he did dominate these fights more, and he really is the king of the monsters. And while Godzilla did beat him with the Burning Godzilla, regular Godzilla I don't think could kill King Ghidorah. And I do think King Ghidorah would win this fight if it was just out in an open field with just these two lined up. Godzilla would definitely win in the water, but King Ghidorah would win on land. But make sure you let me know down below who you think would win in this matchup if it was just them lined up on land with no interruptions, no third party involved. Make sure you let me know down below who you think would win and who will be crowned the champion of Monster Madness 2020. Make sure you let me know down below, and thanks for watching.